Units and approximation. Metric system of measurement. Some of these are given on page 45 of the formulae and tables, but a lot of what we'll cover in this section needs to be learnt off by heart. Units and approximation. These are some common metric units for area, and we have some common metric units for volume. It's important to understand speed and velocity. Same thing. Speed is distance divided by time. And we know that from Dad's silly triangle. If we're looking for the speed, we cover up the speed and we're left with d over t, which is distance divided by time. If we're looking for the time, we cover up the t and we're left with d over s, which is distance divided by speed. And if we're looking for the distance, we cover up the distance and we're left with s and t beside each other. So it's going to be speed multiplied by time. We also need to know about rates of change. Rate of change is going to be the volume divided by the time. We need to learn this off by heart. Imperial system of measurement. So we're not going to get these in our formula book. We need to know how they equate. So for example, length, 1 foot is 12 inches. 1 inch is about 2.54 centimetres, and so on. So get familiar with these. Approximation. Here we have a summary of how to round numbers. So 5 or more, let it soar, let it go up. 4 or less, let it rest, let it stay the same. It's also very important to understand significant figures. Significant figures are non-zero digits. Non-zero digits. It's important to be able to round to a certain number of significant figures. A rectangular tank has a base of width 78 centimetres and a length of 124 centimetres. Its height is 152 centimetres. Water flows into this tank at the rate of 1 pint every 2 seconds. The tank is initially empty. So 1 pint is equal to 0.568 litres. Part 1. Make a rough estimate of what the volume of the tank should be in litres. So we're going to round each dimension to the nearest 10. So 78 rounds off to 80, 124 rounds off to 120, 152 rounds off to 150. And then we're going to use the formula for volume, which is length times width times height. So this is the volume of a cuboid or a cube. So the volume of the tank, 80 times 120 times 150, which is 1,440,000 centimetres cubed. So dividing by 1,000, we get 1,440 litres, because 1 litre is equal to 1,000 centimetres cubed. Part 2. Calculate exactly the volume of the tank in litres correct to 2 decimal places. So the volume of the tank is going to be 78 times 124 times 152. So length times width times height, which gives us 1,470,144 centimetres cubed. Dividing by 1,000, we get 1,470.144 litres. So we get 1,470.14 litres correct to 2 decimal places. Part 3. Calculate how long it will take to fill the tank, giving your answer in seconds correct to 3 significant figures. So the rate of flow is 1 pint every 2 seconds. We got that from the question. So we're interested in every second. So if 1 pint is equal to 0.568 litres, we got that from the question, we're going to half that to get per second. So a half times 0.568 will give us litres per second instead of per 2 seconds. We get 0.284 litres per second. So this is the rate of flow. So from the formula, rate equals volume over time, which you need to learn off, we can rearrange the rate and the time. So we end up basically solving for time, or changing it so that time is the subject of the formula. So we end up with time is equal to volume over rate. The volume is 1,470.14 from part 2 in the previous slide. The rate is 0.284 we got from up here, and dividing gives us 5,176.55, which rounds off to 5,180 seconds. correct with 3 significant figures. Part 4. Express the time taken in hours, minutes and seconds, correct to the nearest second. So we got 5,176.55, which is equivalent to 5,177. That was from part 3. So time is equal to 5,177 seconds, correct to the nearest second, divided by 60, because there's 60 seconds in a minute, gives us 86.283333 minutes, which gives us 86 minutes and 17 seconds, because 0.283333 times 60 is 17. So that's how we change from the minutes into seconds. And 86 minutes can be broken down into 1 hour and 26 minutes. So we actually get 1 hour, 26 minutes and 17 seconds.